talk about the responses, my friends. I want to talk about the responses. This is President Trump, and I have my problems with this response from President Trump. The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense. Is an affront to the greatness of America and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. I don't understand that. Why would you say that? Why would you say it does speak to our success, because the NFL is the most successful sports league. It's grown from nothing. It shows how successful. We export the NFL all across the world. So it does speak to the success. The creativity, that halftime show was one of the most creative ever. And excellent. It was an excellent performance. Whether you liked it or not, it was an excellent performance. You don't judge it based on, liking something, a musical genre or a musical artist is really up to the individual, just like all art is. Then he went on. He says, nobody understands a word this guy is saying. I'll be honest with everybody listening to me, all right? When Kendrick Lamar performed, I knew, not like us. Everything else, I had no idea what he was saying. Not a single. It took me at least 7 straight listenings, if that's a word, to Ready to Die when Biggie first dropped it. I had to listen to that CD 7 times before I knew all the lyrics. 7 times. It was all in English. Don't get me started on heavy metal. I don't know the lyrics, and neither do you. If you listen to any genre of music, the first time you listen to a song, you have no clue what they're singing unless the lyrics comes in a CD and you could read along. Period. End of story. Ever been to the opera? It's all in Italian. I don't understand a word. But you know what I do know? I do know this. When I go to the opera, I do know. I sit there, I listen, and I leave, and I say, man, that was some good music. My soul is calm. My brain is firing. I feel good. And that's how I felt at the end of halftime. And then I went back to watching football, completely forgetting everything I just seen, heard, because I was concentrating on a football game, because it was the biggest football game of the year. I watched football literally from August through January to get to this game. I have NFL package. I watch all the games. My team wasn't in it. I watched the playoffs. I went through the playoffs, every single playoff game, all the way to this game. And it seems to me more people cared about the halftime show than cared about the game. Laura Loomer, let me say this. If we as a party, and I'm not talking about the president necessarily, I'm talking about you guys. I'm talking about us, the party. If we as a party do not start to tell Laura Loomer to go the way of the dodo bird, if we don't get rid of her, we are going to lose everything. Laura Loomer does more harm to the Republican Party than anybody else in this country. Nick Fuentes doesn't do as much harm to the Republican Party as Laura Loomer does. Listen to this tweet. Illegal aliens and Latin hookers twerking at the Super Bowl. It takes one to know one, Miss Loomer. Let's be real. Those are dancers. They're not Latin hookers. But if you want to call them Latin hookers, it takes one to know one. Not a single white person or English translation at the Super Bowl. Not a single white people. Those people are kind of white. They just speak Spanish. Every single one of those dancers and men and everybody else can get a cab in New York. I can't, Miss Loomer. But it takes one to know one. This isn't white enough for me. That's what she said. This isn't white enough for me. It boggles my mind that a woman like this can yell at actors and actors who happen to be black when they say Oscar's so white, and then she says, oh, this isn't white enough. It boggles my mind that conservatives will agree with her, who will laugh at a New York Times article where they say the Winter Olympics is too white. Ha ha, you want diversity. It's a meritocracy. And then she will scream, it isn't white enough. You people are so evil that you don't even know how stupid you are. You people are so disgustingly evil that you don't even realize when you post how ignorant and hypocritical and downright sorry, I almost said a word we're not to say anymore. R word. You really are. It's a Shelley Winter Show. We will be right back.